I hear the call of the stars.
G'day ladies and gentlemen, Duckville here. Welcome to another amazing replay, in fact another series from MLG Anaheim 2011. Today we're going to be having a look at the match between MVP Dongregoo and Liquid Huck. So we've got Dongregoo over here at the left hand side of Duel's side. He's in the blue here as the sexy blue Zerg there. Over on the right hand side is Liquid Huck. He's going to be playing from the unfortunately very lava spilt side of the map here, where it's housing prices are actually quite down on this side, hoping for a resurge in the market over here. But he's going to be starting out with a pylon here, so there's no funny shenanigans or early sorts of expands down to the natural expansion for Huck. Meanwhile, Dongregoo is just going to go for his little extractor trick here, putting the drone into that extractor so he can grab an extra drone. As you can see here up on the units tab, he's sitting there at 11 of 10, so he's going to be just a little bit further along in the economy there for just a slight amount. I'm not actually sure. I think it depends on which particular build you're going as to whether that actually is beneficial to your economy or not. But Huck, meanwhile, just powering those probes along. So this, as I said, this is from the offline games from MLG, of course, and these ones, along with all of the other games, of course, will have taken place in the open bracket. As you can see, Huck down here, just with his very annoying Huck probes, as people call them, or the Huck Norris probes. They come in there and they annoy everything you've got. But here he comes. He does do all sorts of things with these probes. Does a little bit of mining to distract drones to get them off the mineral patches. Also doing some damage on the drones themselves if he can, and it looks as if he did grab some minerals there from a little bit of Miss Micro, and now switches to that drone harass, as we can see there. So does do quite a bit of damage there, taking off some health of those drones. It will of course regenerate in time, but the other thing he's doing is seeing what's happening, and he can see that the pool is down here from Dongregoo, so it's not going to be an early expand down to the natural expansion, of course, so he will be free to come down here and harass this when Dongregoo eventually does decide to switch into the expansion phase of his particular build here. And just back at Huck's base, does have that early second assimilator there, just actually before the cybernetics score goes down. In fact, that just goes down now, so probably from Huck I'm going to be expecting maybe some sort of 3 or just perhaps a 1 gate expand with a lot of sentries, of course. The other options you can see are something with a Twilight Council, perhaps going into DT tech, but you don't often actually see that, especially at high level against Zerg players, because there are quite a few easy ways to grab some detection at the early game, let alone actually stopping the DTs from coming inside and doing all sorts of nasty things to your drones. Meanwhile, we do have that drone we were speaking of just coming down here to the natural expansion, putting down the hatchery. That's going to goop away at the ground there and probably infest the goat that's over here, that little mountain goat that's just running around wondering what the hell's going on. And we'll probably see this move just sort of through a standard sort of game. So what am I going to be expecting on this particular map, you're saying? Well, thank you for asking, but I probably, as we said, probably a 1 or a 3 gate expand from Huck, and then something into perhaps some Blink Stalkers. We all know that Huck loves his Blink Stalkers and does do all sorts of things with those, and especially sentries as well, actually. Does some really great things with sentries. As you can see, we have this scouting probe actually just still hanging around the map there, taking some hits from that Zergling, trying to run away. Perhaps we'll get inside the natural to see what is there again. And there he goes, does get inside, sees that is actually down there, and then actually gets destroyed. So he's going to be aware of that expansion there. But so Huck, as I said, expecting perhaps some Blink Stalkers and maybe some sort of sentry push, if he does like to do those sorts of sentry pushes where you do a bit of damage, of course, with those amazing force fields that Huck is known for. But as we can see here, it does look as if it is going to be a 1 gate expand. We do have that Nexus going up straight away there without the 2nd or the 3rd gates going up. Does have a lot of gas banked up, so he can still crank out those sentries. As we can see, he is doing that quite valiantly there. Now trying to poke away with the Zerglings there is Dongregoo. What's he doing back at his base? He's just pumping up that economy, as we can see here. Drones still being built. We've got 2 on the way, and you can probably expect more to be done shortly as well. In fact, another hatchery going now for Dongregoo, so perhaps looking to do some sort of early pressure with perhaps that sort of 8-minute timing attack, which you do see from time to time, although I'm not sure if that's going to be possible with the lateness of the Roach Warren. So that's, in fact, that's not even here at all, so it's probably not going to be that, in fact. But probably will be seeing some Infestors from Dongregyu, always a powerful unit to use in this particular matchup. So we've got one sentry just holding the fort here for Huck, and he does actually lose that one sentry. Not a good position to be in. In fact, may lose his second sentry as well. Where are the rest of his forces? The two Lings actually get inside. They do a good job of scouting out here, going to try and take out some of these probes. The probes will have something to say about that, and bam, there they go. And now, here's the rest of the forces from Huck. They have moved inside the natural expansion there. Can get some hits on that Queen, probably won't be able to kill it. Some beautiful force fields going down there, separating two of the sentries from the rest of that Zergling pack. And in fact, one of the sentries does go down. The Zealot is doing what it can to fight off, but everything is lost there for Huck. So not exactly the best sort of exchange, but what he did was put a lot of pressure on Dongregyu and say, hey buddy, I'm in your face, you need to make some units, and make some units he did. We're currently sitting at a total of 14 units there for Dongregyu, so I'm not sure if that would have been his intention to grab that many Lings right at the start of the game there, but he is going to get a probe here. Perhaps he'll have some shots at those sentries, but doesn't get down there in time to take them out. Probes transferring across into this natural expansion for Huck. The Lings have decided they're going to go in, and they will be able to get one of the sentries. I think this one will go down, and then perhaps this one that's stuck on the outside as well. It does indeed, and then the Lings still trying to get what they can done. One last little hope there for that Ling, getting inside and taking out another sentry. So Huck actually down quite a bit there in the units lost. He's lost a lot of resources there, with all of that gas gone to waste there because those sentries were taken out. Now trying to chrono out as many probes as he can to try and keep in touch in the economy stakes. But as we can see, Dongregyu doing a fantastic job. The GOAT is overseeing the mining operations here and will be making sure that Dongregyu is doing his job well there. But the Roach Warren is on the way. We can see that coming through now. The melee attacks level 1 will be done shortly for the Lings, so they're going to be doing a lot of damage as well. We'll probably expect some more Lings to be popping out here, and in fact they are. There's 14 more Lings on the way, along with the 3 Spine Crawlers to make sure he is adequately defended if there is another counter attack from Huck. But Huck, meanwhile, is going to have to contend with some sort of push, I would expect, in the short term from Dongregyu. Once he gets some roaches out, perhaps we'll try and pressure with the Lings and then get a lot of roaches out and just do a lot of damage. Huck Pylon stuck at the moment here. Got a couple on the way at the natural expansion, I believe. There's one, and there is a robotics facility. So he is going to switch into a little bit of Robotech. We're not sure how far he is going to go with the Robotech, but the Lings are still hanging out the front, doing a little bit of pressure. Just sort of hanging out the front, making sure that Huck is aware that there is a danger if he moves out too far. And the Lings, in fact, are just running around, sitting at the Xel'Naga Watchtower there, just taking a peek at what is going on. And now running up this side here, Huck is definitely aware that there could be some sort of shenanigans coming down from this side. Running through the smoke there, that line of sight blocker just can hide all sorts of things in the dark there, and he will just poke through. And we'll see what Huck is up to now. Let's just see what he's got on the production tab. We've got the Twilight Council, the Forge is here as well. We'll probably see Blink, I assume, come up. You rarely see Charge this early in the game for a Protoss, and there it is. So, going to be getting some Blink up, and probably we will be seeing some Blink Stalkers, I would assume. Meanwhile, back at Dongregu's base, starting to spread out that creep, as we can see there. The Roaches are done. We do have Roach Speed just about done as well, along with a Baneling there. So we could see some Baneling play here from Dongregyu. A lot of Zerg players these days do like to grab some Banelings and then drop them in some Overlords. In fact, we've got 4 Lings that are hanging out on the side of the map. And speaking of hanging out, this Overlord has done his job there, taken out by the Observer along with the units on the ground. But here they are, the 4 Lings that were sitting out here at this this base at the 3 o'clock position, and now probably going to be picked up here. It's going to be a hit and run with this Overlord. He's going to grab these Banelings, I would assume. Here they are. They're probably going to just jump in right in a second there. And Huck, is he aware of this? Does he know that this sort of threat is imminent here? Does have a probe spotting down at the gold, has a pylon as well, but is not aware of what is going to be happening. And now he is. The Observer actually spots that Overlord just floating past. The Overlord, of course, cannot see the Observers. And now, prepared to attack is Dongregyu from the side. We'll see if he does float in with that Overlord in just a second. Meanwhile, at the front base of Huck, we've got Overlords with Banelings in them, along with a lot of Lings on the ground. Keep in mind, melee attacks level 1 is done. And now the attack commences there, blocked off, and the Overlord was actually shot down over here. But Overlord's just running through here, dropping Banelings everywhere, all over the forces of Huck. taking out a lot of those sentries. The sentries did get their force fields out just in time to protect the base from the imminent attack from those Lings, but now with all of those probes gone, we will have a quick look at the probe count here for Huk, currently sitting at 39 probes. He has been absolutely decimated here. Did stop a lot of the damage that could have been done here. That was fantastic work to keep those Stalkers at the back of the mineral line to make sure that none of them got taken out, but now he is in quite a bit of trouble here. He's got to contend with a lot of Lings, a lot of Roaches, and still a lot of Banelings inside those Overlords as well. So meanwhile, Dongray Gu just behind this, the sort of distraction, I suppose, of that attack, is getting his third base up, has droned up quite well here, and he's currently sitting on 56 drones, has a few infestors on the way as well, as we can see on the construction tab there. We've got 5 infestors on the way. Blinks going off there from Huk. Good job to keep those Stalkers out of trouble, and he will be just sort of probably turtling for the moment here. The problem for Huk now is that he has such an abysmal economy, and he will just be a little bit behind there, and the trouble he's going to have is getting a third base, whether it be here or down here to this side. I'm assuming it's not going to be down here because these Banelings are going to cause all sorts of trouble if they stay there, but grabbing the third base will be quite a lot of trouble for Huk at the moment. He doesn't have any Colossus to take care of AoE damage from those Lings, does have Templar out, he is getting Storm as well, so he will be prepared to do some AoE damage in the near future, but he really needs to get some more units out if he is going to defend against this attack that is coming in here from Dongray Gu. The Stalker's now up at the front here. A probe somehow snuck by that attack and is going to survive for the moment here. The attack now coming in again, 5 infestors in the mix here. They do have a lot of energy to put down some fungals, and they will be able to on these Stalkers. Stalkers taken out along with probes. Meanwhile, at the main mineral line here, dropping in some more Banelings, and down go all of those probes, taking out a huge swath of those probes. The remaining probes are transferred across from the natural, and speaking of the natural, have a look at that. We have everything being destroyed here from Huk, and it looks as if Dongray Gu will just easily sweep through this particular game. Huk just being off balance after that, losing a lot of those initial units there, losing those sentries at the start of the game, then losing some of those additional probes in that first attack from Dongray Gu. Just fantastic work there from Dongray Gu to do that sort of damage and then come in again at this timing and do some more damage, and I would say that is probably going to be it for Huk. He is trying his best to come back and take out some of these Roaches while they run away, blinking on top, taking those Roaches out, but I think the damage has been done, and there he goes. He agrees right there. The GG is up there from Huk, and that is game 1 going to Dongray Gu here with just a fantastic opening there, doing a lot of damage with the early attack that he pushed through the base, dropping some Banelings, and then doing these sorts of distractionary tactics up at the back here, dropping in those Banelings, taking out some more probes, and just sealing the victory from there. So we will go into game number 2, which I believe is on Shakuris, so stay tuned for that one. Cheers.